Are diamonds a bad investment? If this is the right person for you, you don't care what ring he gives you.
Making it too perfect just didn't feel right.
Because every single piece is made by hand, every single piece is finished by hand.
Hey guys, it's Kate, and if you want to know what to look out for when searching for the perfect engagement ring or wedding bands, keep watching. I'm going to be meeting a gems dealer to talk about what to look out for when choosing a diamond or some gems, and I'm also going to be meeting a jewelry artisan, someone that makes jewelry. If you've been watching our travel vlog series, Zenas proposed to me in the redwood forest, and I love the ring he chose. I remember him asking what shape of stone I wanted, and I made sure he knew I only wore yellow gold, but left him to decide on the rest. Since Zenas already took the initiative to pick the engagement ring, I wanted to be in charge of finding our wedding bands. So I asked you guys a while back, and you guys suggested that I go to a gems dealer. I mean, I didn't know you have to go there and pick your gem before you get it set. I thought you just walked into a shop, just go, I want that one, buying clothes. Honestly, whose idea was it to make it so complicated? You have to think about carat, clarity, inclusion. What does it include? Does it include a lifetime warranty or something like that? Because it's so freaking complicated. Anyway, I'm just gonna get everything sorted today when I ask her the question and find out the answer. Let me introduce you to Amanda. She's the founder of August Bespoke, and I went to your Google reviews, and it's 5 stars, okay? Every single person gave her 5 stars. So what I'm really curious about is what August Bespoke is known for.
Well, number one, I'm August baby, so that's very easy, right? In our culture, it's a lucky number, right? That's one aspect of it. But if you rotate the number 8 by 90 degrees, what do you get?
The infinity sign.
Exactly. For us, jewelry is about making memories last forever. Okay, so that is really the premise. We're known for the more unique things, right? We do a lot of fancy cut diamonds, for example, for our engagement rings, right? So emerald cuts, ovals, you'll see them all on our Instagram. We actually do redesign things. Select clients actually redesign some of their heirloom jewelry, let's say your grandmother has given you something that it's not really your style. We usually take the gems, whatever gems are in there, because it's sentimental. We recreate pieces like necklaces. We can even add family birthstones to that. I always tell everybody, fine jewelry is a world of its own. When you're buying a house, there are a lot of things about interior design that you may not even know, and that's the same for jewelry and gemstones and diamonds. It's just a lot of terminology, I think.
Yeah. When you say terminology, right?
Yeah.
I already can think about 3 words that I'm what does it mean when you say clarity or inclusion? I guess inclusion got dirt inside.
So the 4 C's are what we actually determine diamond value, right? At the end of the day. The first one is carat weight. People commonly associate with size. So when someone says, oh, this is a 5 carat diamond, they're actually talking about the size, but in reality, it's the weight. Just because something has a higher carat weight doesn't mean that it looks bigger, because at the end of the day, different gems and diamonds are also cut differently. Yes. The way that the weight is distributed can be different. Let's say 2 diamonds that are 5 carats might look different in visual size, because one might be deeper on the bottom, so there's more weight on the bottom than there is visually face up. They want it to look bigger, but you're going to sacrifice on other aspects of it. If it's wide, yes, it looks big from the top, but if it's too shallow, then the way, like I said, the angles and the way that light travels through the stone will be very different. The art and science of gem cutting is always about the balance of proportion and factor. Everything has to work together to make the final result look great.
Wow.
The second thing is what we call color. So people don't realize this, but some people say white diamonds, but it's a colorless diamond, right? That's what you see in the ads when you go to shopping malls. But the vast majority of diamonds actually have a slightly yellowish tint to them. There's actually nitrogen that's trapped in the crystal lattice structure of a diamond. So what are the most highly prized ones or the most expensive ones are the ones that are the most colorless, if that makes sense. It doesn't start from A, B, C, it actually starts from D, E, F, G, all the way down. So when people say, oh, this is a D colored diamond, they mean that's the highest color grade, aka the most colorless. Natural diamonds that come from Mother Nature, always tend to have what we call inclusions or clarity characteristics. These are little crystals or feathers that were caught in the diamond as it was being formed. This is part of, I guess, the beauty of a natural diamond is it's not flawless. I mean, there are flawless natural diamonds, but I actually always tell clients, I look at clarity characteristics really as the fingerprint of a diamond. Sometimes the inclusions cannot be seen with the naked eye. So that's one way to save but still have that fingerprint of your diamond. That's how you know it's yours. And then the last thing is the most important, is cutting. How a diamond and a gem is cut is really that one determining factor that can make or break that diamond or a gem, because the way that it's cut determines how sparkly it is, and cutting is the thing that makes that different. Gemstone cutters who are very experienced know how to look at a rough gem and cut it in such a way that intensify the color, and in the hands of somebody else it could be very different.
Now, after having spoken to you,
Right.
I'm realizing that you do bespoke jewelry, but
Right.
it doesn't necessarily have to be more expensive than the stuff that you get out there because of you don't have rental to pay and everything.
So it's not as scary as you think.
I have this question, and I'm sure a lot of people have this question.
Yeah.
You know, the moment you buy a diamond,
Right.
I think you already know I'm gonna ask. And you know how everyone says
my
it
gosh.
depreciates in value straight away?
Yeah. We don't realize the words that we're using, but people be like, are diamonds a bad investment, right?
Yeah.
They use the word
Yeah.
investment, right?
Exactly.
So as someone who has a finance background, I would say the prudent thing to do is to completely disassociate diamonds from the word investment. Because you don't buy a diamond ring hoping to flip it. Remember that you're creating an engagement ring for the sentimental purpose of gifting a symbol of your love.
Do you have any advice that you want to give the audience that's watching this?
Really feel free to be creative. You don't have to stick to, whatever it is that you see out there, right? So be creative and think outside of the box as it relates to your ring. I think the second piece of advice I would give everybody is to really pay for beauty you can see. The carat weight, like a stone, right? Because that's what she looks at the end of the day. And the cutting is what is most important.
Where can people find your classes?
I teach a free masterclass online, just covering all the subjects we talked about and much more actually.
Oh my god, thank you so much for making time for
You're
me. I had
welcome.
so many questions and a lot of it has been answered and I understand a lot more. If you guys want to just go straight to August Bespoke, they do it from start to finish for you. You don't have to find the gem and then take it to a setter. You get to go through an entire journey with your partner or on your own or with Amanda here. So remember to hit her up on Instagram. Go to the description to find Amanda and August Bespoke.
Bye guys.
So I guess picking the gem in itself is already the beginning of the entire customization process. Now I think I'm gonna go and look for an artisan jeweler because I really want to find out about the composition of metals. More specifically, how much gold goes into a white gold ring, a rose gold ring, and also gold-plated things, vermeil. So Stella and her partner Daryl are both the founders of Stelliyah and Stella & Co. And you can see from the Instagram page that they create a lot of very raw finished jewelry, which I personally love. And I'm very curious as to what kind of metals make up 22, 24, 18, 14 karat gold, as well as, the type of techniques that they use for that raw finish. So maybe you can share with us a bit about Stelliyah's story. How did you decide that you want to be an artisanal jeweler?
I think initially I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I think when I started sewing and cutting up fabric, I felt like something was I enjoyed the process, but it just wasn't as fulfilling as I actually thought it would be. I never thought I would start making jewelry, but then I started by making something for a friend. And eventually I was hooked, I just wanted more, and that's when I decided that I wanted to try metal smithing. I think the first time I held a hammer, I knew that was it. And before I knew it, I was just spending a lot of time making and trial and error experimenting. And I went to New York for a few months just so that I could learn more techniques, because what was available here in Singapore was quite limited.
Is there a difference between a bespoke jeweler and an artisanal jeweler?
So artisanal, actually, it's just a very generic term to describe things that are handmade, whereas bespoke is more like a service. The service itself, just the whole process of talking about what they want and what I would advise them to get and things like that, it's bespoke. A lot of people come to us for our very raw and organic style. I like to play with textures and imperfect pieces. What we're used to seeing outside is very polished up. Everything looks very perfect. Making it too perfect just didn't feel right. I explored textures. It started with hammered texture, where I would hammer the piece and then you get that little dings and dents around it. And I felt that it has a lot of character.
It does.
It can look like it's been knocked up, beaten up, and it has been passed down, you know, generations. Sometimes that's the look that we're going for, something that's so personal that it has been through like trials and tribulations with you, you know. So that's how I like to make my jewelry and how I want my customers to feel.
I'm also very curious about what the difference is between yellow gold, white gold, and rose gold. Like, do gold just come in that, you know, variation of colors, or do you have to add something to it?
Yes. You have to add something to it. So basically gold, pure gold, when it's mined, it's yellow. It's as yellow as it gets. Traditionally, nickel is added into white gold.
Oh, is nickel not safe though?
It's a pretty common allergen. So what people do nowadays, there are a lot of other alternatives, say like nickel-free white gold. But nickel is the standard.
So how about then rose gold? It has to be a red metal, right?
Copper. Yeah.
So then the gold content is actually less in the white gold and the rose gold jewelry.
Not necessary, because a lot of jewelry, even yellow gold, it comes in different carats. So the higher the carat, the more gold content it is. So if you actually look at all the different carats, as it goes down, the yellow becomes pale. So like 14 carat is pretty standard these days. A lot of people, you know, when they buy jewelry, they like to go 18 or 14.
How long does it take to complete a customized piece?
To make it physically, it's not that long. Like maybe within a week, I can complete it. The process itself, our clients tend to wait 3 to 6 months, sometimes even longer. For us specifically, it's because we have like a production schedule. The wait can take up to like 6 to 8 months. To us, quality is very, very important.
So this is Daryl. He's one of the 2 artisanal jewelers here at Stelliyah and Stelliyah & Co. So my purpose here is to like find a pair of wedding rings. So how does it usually work? What should people expect if they come here for a consult?
They would share the story, what they want, what they're looking for, what the style is. We even ask questions like, what work do you do? By knowing that, we would recommend things that are a lot more
discreet.
Not discreet per se, but rugged.
I see. Because then the scratches will be very visible. Oh my gosh, these are things I never really think about, right?
So we would ask
obviously they
questions,
would, yeah.
Like what kind of work do you do? Or even if you're working a lot on a computer, then we wouldn't recommend things that are too bulky because it's uncomfortable. Especially for men, like, are you used to wearing rings?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that right now. No, Z is not used to wearing rings. How leh?
We would recommend things that are flashed, a little bit more discreet, lighter, nothing too like big. We would also ask if the client prefers stones to be inlaid into the rings. What kind of stones, what colors do you like? If there's above stones they want to add on. And then with all this information, then we would start recommending like things.
So obviously these are all from Stelliyah & Co, the sister company of Stelliyah. So the story is that Z and I went on an 81-day road trip, living in a van, driving all around the US, and then we ended up in Kennedy Space Center because, of course, Z is like an astronaut geek, so he wants to go and see, right?
Yeah.
And when we got there was a little piece of rock on the inside, and it says it's a part of the moon. He put his hand in and he was like,
I just touched the moon!
That really stuck out for me because he was very emotional there. It meant a lot to him. And so I kind of want to make a wedding ring for him that is like moon rock surface.
Right.
And this is like perfect.
The moon rock surface, this one over here, we call it the rough texture.
Well, I have to say, it definitely looks like a stone-like texture on the outside, but on the inside, it's actually really smooth.
Yep. We actually purposely kind of smoothed it out inside. So whenever you wear it, it doesn't feel like it's cutting your fingers off.
And also these designs where you put the gem on the side.
Yeah.
Is this a kumbu method?
This one, yes, it is. So kumbu is an ancient Korean technique where we kind of fuse very thin gold foils over silver. It's kind of like plating, but in a very ancient technique. A lot of character, and you would never get a very smooth, even uniform finish because every single piece is made by hand. Every single piece is finished by hand. There's no way you can have the same piece.
That's like true customization, only one in the world. Well, thank you so much for this consult. Now I know like I'm closer to what I want already. Okay, cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I hope this video helps you choose your engagement rings or wedding bands with more certainty. If you know someone who needs help, feel free to share the link with them. I think I'm pretty much certain I know what I want to get for Z and I in terms of wedding bands. If you like this video, remember to hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next episode.
Love and try to make it